So I looked at part 3 of I Want to Be Put Down in My Sunspel, and I look dumb as fuck in my glasses on camera. I'm going to still wear them because people don't think I'm interesting, and like at some point I need to like have a social network. And this is one way to do that. Like I could actually intentionally start wearing my sunglasses inside for character building reasons, or like just character as a character trait. Um, I remembered what I was forgetting to talk about. So as an artist, I'm not interested in signing my work as um, my name. I'm actually going to sign it under the company name to my family office. And the reason for that is because the idea itself that a family office produces art, like this is some Jeff Koons, this is about like Jeff Koons being famous for being famous, along those lines. He has a company, he doesn't even make his art anymore. It's just a money-making operation. But then here I come in as a Canadian. Canada has an extremely stable financial system, and I'm like, no, actually, the entity in which I manufacture art is not my self-identity, but it's actually the identity that allows me to connect to the financial system. And at that point, you're thinking about the international tax structure, citizenship, as a purchasable identity, the nation state, patriarchy, psychopathy, misogyny, and then boots on the ground life for the working public, the poor, and the homeless. I haven't spoken about this. Like you guys hear me say, like the working class, the working class, the poor, and the homeless. So what have I been trying to get at with that? So once a month at these hair salons that are to be international, we're gonna shave the heads of the homeless, very akin to behavior done at Auschwitz, and intentionally so. If someone is bald and not homeless, they're invited to also show up. They'll be expected to pay. Bald people need haircuts too. And it's that, like, we have this psychopathic, our tolerance to psychopathy needs to be 0, but we actually do entertain psychopathy. And I want to break some bones in the process of, or you have to break bones in the process of getting rid of the homeless, because you can get rid of the homeless specifically if you can just say, listen, it's designed intentionally to keep the working class impoverished, because if they don't behave, they are allowed to go homeless. The public accepts this behavior. But if you get rid of homelessness, literally the working class conditions of everybody has to go up, because amongst the white collars, they have to have a disgustingly different, or like the discrepancy between their working experience and the working class has to be disgusting. And so at the higher levels, you'll even experience change there. And how do I want to get rid of homelessness? I'm just going to shave the heads of the homeless. People are going to be like, oh no, you have to give them haircuts because they have dignity, and it's our ethical and moral, it's our ethical responsibility because we practice morals. Shut the fuck up. No, you don't. How about we just get rid of homelessness altogether? When you go to a hospital, they're not fucking giving you linens. They're giving you enterprise manufactured, mass produced blankets. Why the fuck am I, as an artist, like as a member of the working public through being a hairdresser, wasting my time and resources on a enterprise level problem? I am not going to contribute artistry to an industrial level slaughtering process. We know homelessness is designed intentionally to keep the working class in check. Immediately, what we should be doing with the homeless is institutionalizing them, where necessary, euthanizing them. I'm totally okay. I want to bring back the guillotine. I love woodworking. There was a moment where I was working towards becoming a cabinet maker, a cabinet maker. I love woodworking. It's a sick hobby. And so union made guillotines to be executing the public. The public. And then to the ones that are not to be euthanized, institutionalize them for mental health concerns. And then to the ones where it's just drug use, legalize all drugs so that now the issue is how to correctly perform drug rehabilitation and drug management. Because you can be working, just like you can be a working drunk, you can be a working drug user. The fact that I literally had this master's thesis as a question as to how to experience Auschwitz, and then literally I'm shaving the heads, which looks very similar to the experience of entering Auschwitz, it's going to stir political dialogue, and especially among the Jews. Oh man, you want to talk about like reform at every, like political reform? You're gonna, getting the Jews and their Jewish intellectualism is gonna, dude, this nonprofit is gonna pop off. Like literally, how the fuck do you have a problem with me making sure that the homeless have hygienic haircuts? Oh, hygiene is too similar to the Holocaust. He's promoting anti-Semitism. Bro, hygiene is a word. You've weaponized a word. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm literally giving hygiene therapy to the homeless in the form of haircuts that allows me not to break my wrists, wasting my time helping them, because I know there's actually a systemic reason that they exist in the first place. How about instead of you wasting your time arguing with me, you put that energy to actually solving the homeless problem? What you have to understand, what the world has to understand about intellectual labor is that there's no such thing as step 2. If you do step 1, it will literally change you from the inside out. This is like the soul coming out of the body, or like the soul coming through the body and you having a Christ experience or like a God experience. This idea that like time is linear, time progresses forward is a mental phenomenon, and it has destroyed our like logical process. And the Jewish intellectualism is a huge element to that, because it's like, oh, you progress through life and you die, and then there's something in the afterlife. And so the cycle of before ever being conceived, born, life, death, it's all in this point. But if you actually intellectualize correctly, you're going to realize there's no such thing as step 2. Step 1 is the solution. Like literally me bringing the subject to your awareness is the solution, because after participating in step 1, reality takes a hold and starts changing circumstances, of which there never was a step 2, and so I never worry about it. I trust myself. I have an identity outside of victimhood, which serves me, serves my family, serves my community, serves the utopian vision that I don't even know if people aspire for utopia anymore. But the philosophical idea of utopia. And all I did was shave some heads. The fact that a family office, which is like, it's essentially a private financial institution for a family, that manages all the like mundane moment-to-moment logistics of like keeping family order specific to investments. And the fact that my family office is the one of which, like there's an arm in the family office where my art is produced, very well is the art, is the subtext behind the art. The meaning, the subtext behind my art very well could be my privilege. Oh, and then, okay, so I never spoke about this. Okay, so when you enter into the art world, they teach you to talk about yourself, but like, and then it's like you're constantly in this state of selling yourself under capitalism, under patriarchy, under psychopathy. But what I'm proposing is you essentially become an employee, you become a customer of the hair salons, and have the potential to become an artist showing artwork through the strategy we've put in place of companies just being like, yeah, we'll host an art show and we're not actually a gallery whatsoever, of which is a consequence of my intellectual labor as an artist. And so really good stuff. And the thing is, we'll take anyone off the street, they can immediately start practicing healthy gender norms by getting a haircut, feeding into our vision of what being a man and a woman means, and then practicing Ashtanga yoga, practicing victimlessness, and then producing artwork where, like, legitimately speaking, it's just these tiny posters, and then they're showing in gallery spaces, and it's that and then this is the interesting, oh fuck, I hate how fucking straightforward my work is, because it literally affects me when I start talking about it. The Jews never had time to explain themselves, like in the labor camp of Auschwitz. This idea that you have to already have an answer to your artwork before showing it is Jewish intellectual delusion, psychopathy, patriarchy. What I want to propose to the art world, as a critique to the art world, is that you can show art without having an artist statement, without actually already having figured out what the art means, but it's that your actual human spirit came out, and it was so necessary that it came out that it had to be respected. And it's like, this gets at the experience of being a victim of the Holocaust, being a victim of Auschwitz. Before the Jews, before the Polish victims of Auschwitz had a moment to realize what was going on, they were being deracinated, pulled from their bodies, ripped from the soil, being gassed alive. So with that in mind, how would you make artwork that gets at the human spirit post-Holocaust? You technically couldn't. Like, it was even said, there's no poetry after the Holocaust. So it's like, we have to create a space. We now have to create dialogue on the fact that we need to start showing artwork before the artists are ready, as a context, as like a contextual reference to like post-Holocaust civilization. So like, now we're in the postmodern, there was modern, post-structural, structural. Essentially wipe that all out. Maybe keep structural, maybe. Just be pre-Holocaust, post-Holocaust. You don't have the tools to understand what's going on, but you have to show work. You have to show your spirit. You're gonna do labor that doesn't do anything to serve you, and you have to speak to that. And so I'm really doing a good examination of what life inside Auschwitz would have been. That I've gotten to the gates with like the literal premise of the hair salon that has the software program, then to establish dialogue on like, what would it be like? I'm pointing to the art world's obsession that there actually already has to be an answer to something before it's done, which is completely capitalistic. Like, that's actually not how humans work. At all. It creates, that literally is how hierarchy is justified, that someone knows better, and sets up the circumstances to be thinking about what a pagan-free state, that of a post-national identity, one where the nation state doesn't exist but society still operates, would look like. Pretty good.